Hello, ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages. Welcome to Cocktails and Curveballs. With me, as always, we got Ty, Patrick, and Lee. First thing I'd like to do is thank our men and women in military, both domestic and abroad. Also like to thank our men and women in blue and first responders for the job they do. So let's get it going. Anybody got anything want to hit on first?
Yeah, I think we need to talk about the fights. Fresh off fight night, UFC, some good fights. I don't think the fights were as good as we made a comment when O'Malley and Sterling fought that the octagon was awfully clean. Not very often where you see that, where there's no blood stains. I mean, there just really wasn't a whole lot of big battles last night. But I did want to get your guys' opinion on the Sterling and O'Malley fight, because I know probably all the credit's going to go to O'Malley, and I'm not throwing shade his way because he fought a brilliant fight. That right hand I think, would have knocked anybody out. He caught Sterling coming in. But I'm just wondering, I feel like this was just as much as a failure on Sterling's part as it was success on O'Malley's part, because to be clear, I don't think anybody would disagree with me. Sterling, retaining his belt was 100% dependent on him taking him to the mat, and I just don't feel like he either didn't have a whole lot of interest in it or didn't show the just nonstop intention of trying to do that. I don't understand what kind of fight he was fighting. I don't know if he was just scared, or if, I know it may be a couple occasions, but what do you guys think? I mean, was that really just domination by O'Malley, or did Sterling kind of let one drop a little bit?
I think the general consensus was that Sterling needed to live on the mat to win that fight. And if it went more than 2 rounds, Aljo was going to win it. I mean, he was gonna power it out through the end. I'm sorry, man. I got to give O'Malley some credit. He looked better than I've ever seen him look in a fight last night. His movement was good. His striking was there. He avoided a couple takedowns by Sterling. And I'm sorry, Aljo, I don't think his corner had him prepared the right way, man. You got to get this guy off his feet. Otherwise, he gets you with that right hand, it could be curtains. You know what I mean? And so this is going to create, yeah. And this is going to create huge hype around O'Malley. And obviously where we're at, Patrick, he's a hometown boy. He's big up here in this state. And
well, from what I understand, he claims Arizona now. So by all indications, he's pulling a Ryan Leaf.
That's a bummer.
He's pulling a Ryan Leaf and going with that, right? So yeah, he was from Wazoo. No, he wasn't.
Right at the beginning, they called him from Helena, Montana.
Well, they did.
He was on his way out. So,
but I'm saying that they say that, but when they ask him about it, he says, I've heard him say several times, my hometown of Arizona. So I mean, but that's fine. I mean, that's how he wants to roll.
Hey, complete side note, Tyler, I noticed I'll throw this at you. I'm out, so I'm down to my mainstay, and this just for Jimmy. Those are mountains are blue. So I'm hitting the Coors Light today. I saw some kind of fancy can you got there, kid. What the hell is it?
Yeah, I don't really know. This is the first time I've had it. I just cracked it right when we were getting going here. This is from Deschutes Brewing.
I love Deschutes.
Yeah, they seem to keep just pumping out different kind of IPAs. This is a Symphonic Chronic Double Dank IPA, 9%er. I don't know, just the can looked kind of crazy and weird, and it's pretty good.
I like it. I don't. That's probably my favorite brewery of all time. They have never made a beer that I didn't enjoy. I mean, those guys have been around a long time and they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
What are you drinking, Jimmy?
Just regular old Coors Light.
See, I matched you today, buddy. It's all I had left, and it's all good. What about you, Pat?
Going with another Modelo, one I haven't had. It's a Chelada Sandia Picante. Pretty good. It's pretty tasty.
I
got it in a chilled glass, and maybe I should have bought 2 of them. So
your language barrier is improving. You're getting a lot better with your verbiage. I like it.
I've been hanging around my buddy Isaac Salcido. He's
Uh-huh.
full-blooded Mexican, and he could probably hook me up on some of the language barriers there. So
Yeah, the Spanish is a little bit tighter than your German.
That's fair.
wow,
That's
wow.
fair.
You know what? There's a saying we used to say. You go out and build a bunch of bridges. Nobody calls you a bridge builder. You go on and set a bunch of poles. Nobody calls you a lineman. Suck one dick, you're a cocksucker for the rest of your life, man. Remember that.
Wow.
I don't think
that
I'd
took
ever
a
heard
turn
that.
in a
That's
hurry.
hilarious.
That
It
took a
takes an
turn in a
expression.
hurry.
That's not in the literal sense. Let's just get that clear right now. That's just an expression. Meaning you fuck up one time, nobody ever forgets it. That's what I'm saying.
I got a question for you, Jim. Do you think with O'Malley taking the title, you think this is going to be a mass just push O'Malley as this new star, the big superstar of the UFC? It sounded like in the post that they really want to push this guy. And I know he's flamboyant and he's out there, but what do you think?
Well, why wouldn't you? I mean, he's the next McGregor. Why wouldn't you ride his personality and quite frankly his talent? And I'm going to tell you guys, Sterling wanted nothing to do with him. The shots that he took were half-hearted, in my opinion. Okay, the punch count in the first round was 8-6 until Sterling tied him up in the last 15 seconds, and then it went to 21-6 or some shit like that with some short right hands. But if you guys watched O'Malley feint, and Sterling was bouncing, he was moving. He wanted no part of standing in the ring and throwing hands.
Right.
So he had to do something. And let's be fair, there wasn't shit happening in the first round. Well, second round, he got aggressive, and it bit him. It bit him. It was just he got aggressive, threw that left hand, fight over.
Yeah, it looked super similar.
I'm sorry, but it's all O'Malley. Sterling, you can say he lost it. He didn't do what he was supposed to do, but he didn't want to put his head in there. That's bottom line. And O'Malley, like I said, he was fainting. He was throwing he was acting like he was going to throw that punch. And you could just watch Sterling back up 10 feet. He wanted no part of it. And they kept saying how O'Malley was the one that looked nervous and he's scared and all this, the biggest test of his life, which it was, no doubt about it. But when they got in the ring, to me, it looked like Sterling was the one that was nervous and was fighting scared. So I'm giving all the credit to O'Malley. Sterling, if he went in there with the wrong game plan, that is his fault. But it wasn't the fight. It wasn't the fight. I'm not giving Sterling. I'm not saying that he lost it more than O'Malley won it. No fucking way. Sterling wanted no part of O'Malley.
No, I didn't.
Very clear in the first round.
Yeah, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say, to be clear, I didn't say that Sterling lost it. I just think that it was there was no secrets of what Sterling needed to do in this fight. And I just feel like either A, he wasn't prepared, or B, it was a terrible game plan. And I do give all the credit in the world to O'Malley, because I did think he fought a brilliant fight. And that right hand he's got is a no joke. I just feel like, coming into this fight, Sterling had won, what was it, 12 consecutive fights or something? I think he set a bantamweight record for consecutive wins in a row. He had
consecutive was 9, I thought, but you can.
I'm not sure. It was a lot. It was plenty.
Oh yeah.
And he had defended his belt 3-4 fights. I mean, he's been fighting really well. And so I just felt that, and you're right, Jim, maybe it was just one of those things where it didn't matter what Sterling could do. O'Malley was just on an immovable path, and he wasn't going to be beat. But the optics to me say that, if Sterling would have been training, he should have been training for what happened last night. Like, I get that he was scared and everything, but there's no secret how powerful O'Malley is.
Well, to get the takedown, to get him onto the mat, you got to put your face in there, right?
Well,
you got to close the distance. You got to close the distance at some point.
You got to close the distance. He didn't want to do that. And
no.
bottom line is when he did it was half-hearted. That takedown attempt at the end of the first round was a fucking joke.
It was.
For what Sterling is capable of. This man took Henry Cejudo, a 4-time or a Olympic gold medalist, took him down 4 times.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're telling me that you can't take? No, he didn't want to take O'Malley down. He
Right.
didn't
Want to close the
put his,
distance. Well,
he didn't
the
want to
thing
put his head in there.
with
And that bugged.
Aljo too, right? Like he's notorious for being the bigger guy
Yeah,
in there every time.
he wasn't.
Wasn't last night. I mean, physically,
Nope.
yes. I mean, muscle definition and shit. Like, yeah, Sterling is bigger than O'Malley, but O'Malley's length, dude, at 135 is it's like the John Jones syndrome, right? At 205. Nobody,
Right.
John Jones, and I mean, he is a phenomenal grappler too, but like he's so much longer. You know,
Great.
I think that's the biggest thing with O'Malley too is, and like you hit on a little bit, like with the feints and his lateral movement and stuff. I think Sterling didn't have a clear, like he wasn't going to shoot a hard double or a hard single at that distance. There's no way. There's no way that O'Malley wasn't going to catch him. And
I think he was just trying to land
the one time Aljo tried to close the distance with a big power punch, fight was over.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
That's what I was
saying.
about to say.
It looked if anybody didn't see the fight, it looked like a mirror image almost of when McGregor beat Aldo. Yeah. Aldo missed the punch and got too close, and McGregor hit him with the left. O'Malley hit Sterling with the right, and it looked. That was a beautiful punch, though. I mean, like
that right hook.
Dude, that was
right hook.
and
Well,
you
that's
could
the
see
worst.
you saw Sterling when he missed, and he didn't miss by much. He missed by a little bit, and his head was out like this, and he just closed his eyes. He
You
knew it
saw
was
that
coming.
too.
Yep.
He
Yeah,
was
fucking
coming
he
forward.
knew he was getting blasted. He threw that punch and missed and went, oh fuck.
Yeah.
This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt.
Yeah.
You know what?
I mean,
That's
maybe-
funny.
You know what though? You know, just to get off, I mean, we could sit here and talk what happened, why Sterling didn't win this and that. The best fight overall of the night was the co-main. And I will say this, that I'm gonna butcher her
Zhang?
name. I don't
I
speak
hate the
Chinese.
names. I know.
Zhang Wai Li.
Zhang Wai Li.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said it like that, but
We should have
dude,
relied on Jim.
that was a phenomenal display of mixed martial arts. I think that is what she did in that fight was mixed
She just
martial arts.
destroyed her, though, man.
to
That
a
was-
freaking dude. She almost got tapped out though.
That was Well, I don't know.
Dude, I don't know. I think
I don't think she ever had it sucked in though, man. I don't think she had it sucked in very
I
tight.
don't know. Looked fairly tight, but whatever. Who cares, right? Like that's.
But did you
didn't
see
work.
the strike? I mean, at one point in time, it was 226 strikes to like 8 or something.
It
Dude,
ended
the
up-
biggest. I mean, oh yeah, maybe not the best fight, but the best performance, maybe, is what I'm trying to say. Was
Man, that was just
she
domination.
you were? I mean, I'm looking at her like, dude, I wouldn't be caught in the same arena with her, let alone
That's
the octagon.
That was the strawweight title, right? For ladies,
115,
Is that
whatever
what-
that is. Yeah.
Yeah, is that what it is? I wasn't sure what the poundage was on that
And
class.
not
Strawweight.
striking and moving like a 115-pound girl. I'll tell you that
Yeah.
much.
Wow.
Well, let me ask you. So, what are you guys' feelings on Weidman? Do you think he's back, or do you think he fights again? I think he looked really. I feel like he was dragging his right leg behind him the whole fight. Like I just feel like he was
Well, after
either.
you break a leg, man, I mean, you
Well,
got
no,
to
I
be a
get
little
it.
bit
I'm not-
nervous
no,
getting back in.
I'm not putting him down. I just say either was he favoring it or he was bothering him. He didn't look right.
Have we talked about that before? Like, if you tell somebody to go break a leg, like that's a good thing.
Yeah, but
Just one of those sayings that you're like,
Not if you're a
that's-
UFC fighter.
Not if you're anything.
that's probably the worst break I've ever seen. And then he went back to step
disgusting.
on it.
Disgusting.
That kid beat him up, beat up his leg. And
He
here
did.
my thoughts on Chris Weidman. Listen, thanks for the memories, man.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva sticking his jaw out there and stuff and pop, fight over. Thanks for
Yeah.
the memories. You're one of my heroes, both in the octagon and outside the octagon.
Great guy, yeah.
But yeah, great guy. But sir, please retire. Please be
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah,
Just go
before you
coach,
take-
yeah. Go coach.
Go
Dana
coach.
even
train
called that out.
go train the fucking next guy.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Dana White called that out after the fights too. He said when it came to Weidman, please retire.
There's
You
a
know
bunch
what?
of them, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it's sad, right? Like,
But
there's
he's such a good
There's a
dude.
generation
He
of
is.
guys that you're like,
He's a class
man,
act.
you hate to see him go, but like,
Right.
it's an
Well,
absolutely unforgiving sport. Like, mixed martial arts more than anything, dude. Like, you start to get old in
Over a cliff.
a couple of rounds. It
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not like a guy that can
like-
hang around the major leagues and hit 220 on a couple different teams. Like, no, dude,
And
the drop off is immense.
Is immediate. And just like Jim said, that guy beat him up. So you could kind of see it after the round, but you just know today Chris ain't on his feet at all, man.
No way.
He's not able to walk at all. It looked like he was struggling just to stand there in the middle of the octagon after the fight was over. Today after he just beat the hell out of his legs like that, woo, man, he
Getting
is
wheelchaired around, probably.
He's,
Yeah,
he's
did
in
they
a
say-
wheelchair today, man. I promise
Yeah,
you that.
he tore something. They're not sure what yet. I haven't heard
Oh,
in his knee.
God,
And you
he
think
is
about
just-
that, you break your leg, you come back from it, that's devastating for anyone. I'm sorry,
Right.
especially in that type of sport.
Yep.
Conor McGregor's going to be no different.
Yeah, but
When
that's
he-
why
when
Conor
he-
McGregor's been on steroids for the last Howard. Have you seen Homeboy?
Yeah.
Dude, he's
Yeah.
huge, and there's a reason that he retired, got out of the testing stuff. It's not. I mean,
Just to
but
heal
that's how
and
his
get
leg's
strong.
gonna heal. That's how his leg's gonna
Yep.
heal. This is
Right.
the thing. Like, if you want to see Conor McGregor fight, like, yeah, motherfucker's on steroids. He's
Yeah, he's
huge
like
right now.
185 pounds. Just
Dude,
2%
he
body
looks
fat.
like, I saw some pictures of him. If he's not walking around at 200 pounds, then fucking kick me in the balls, because he is a monster right now.
but Ty, you got to remember the dude's like 5'6", man. So 185.
No, he's fucking taller than that.
No, he's not. He's not very big. He's just a small
Shit,
dude, man.
He's fought at 170 and looked as big as anybody there.
I don't think he's. I think he'd be shocked at how. I can pull it up right now. I don't think he's very big.
Aren't they talking about McGregor potentially having a fight this year in 23?
I don't
It's
think-
possible.
I don't think you'll
I
ever
think-
fight him again. I don't think he'll ever fight again.
I think if anybody fights him next, it should be Gaethje.
Do you think so?
Because I think Gaethje, dude, he's Money McGregor, dude.
Yeah.
If you fight him, you start to go. Are you leaning towards a money fight, or like Gaethje's been right there, BMF now, right? Like,
Yeah.
you start he's climbed that ladder, hasn't quite got to the pinnacle. Why wouldn't you? Why the fuck would you not try and share pay-per-view dollars on a McGregor fight that I don't care? Like, I'm renting that. If that's the only
Yeah.
fight on the, I'd pay $80 to watch those two fight.
Oh, I would too.
Which
Absolutely.
which honestly more or less was the O'Malley Sterling thing. And I'm sorry, like, I want to get off this topic a little bit, but earlier I didn't get my spot about the UFC pushing O'Malley. Now, dude, they've been pushing O'Malley for a while. The last couple
A
years,
long time.
he jumped from not fighting ranked guys to beating Piotr Jan, which we've talked about before. I don't know, it's
Yep.
kind of a toss up, right into a title shot. And he's the fucking champion, dude, with like fighting a couple few ranked guys. Vera might have been ranked when they fought. Cheeto Vera might have been ranked. And dude, I would really like to see the Cheeto Vera Sean O'Malley rematch. After watching Vera fight last night too, dude, he'll stand
think
there.
that's gonna happen.
He's gonna stand there and he's gonna fucking fight O'Malley.
And if
I think that's gonna happen.
if he does, it could get ugly because Munoz hit him. He hit him a lot last night. He hit
Cheeto was fucking staying. That was
And
another
he was
one, dude.
standing,
That was a
yeah.
fucking good fight.
I think that'd be a
was
good fight.
Good fight.
but Munoz.
yeah.
Munoz also doesn't have near the pop that O'Malley.
No, not at all. But
So-
Vera, he
It's
just
easy
seems
to
like he
keep-
has that demeanor, right? That like
Right.
he's
But
gonna
it's
stay
easy
in
to
your
keep-
face. He's gonna stay right there.
It's easy to keep your head in there when you're not afraid of the guy knocking
Yeah.
it off too.
Yeah, true.
Well, and that jab that jab was there all
Dude,
fight
he started
long, man.
fucking
All
popping
fight
it with
long.
that
Like
jab.
anytime he wanted to hit him with that jab,
It started getting bad.
landed
And
40
Munoz was like
jabs
that.
last night. Just
Oh,
destroyed him.
his face looked
Yeah,
horrible.
dude, that wasn't just like a one for their two. That was like
Oh.
a fucking power jab. He was popping him in the nose and
Oh my God!
right from
Just
right
every-
here, right here. He was fucking
and his
blasting him.
his nose looked like his nose was. Oh, it was
Yeah,
just bad.
it was.
Man.
Hey, I got something real quick that I just thought.
Here it comes.
I mean, just
here it comes.
what?
I was just going to ask you about it, but go ahead.
What?
What?
No, I don't think
Julio
it. I don't think
Rodriguez.
what I was gonna say was what you think it is.
Oh, I don't know. I just figured it was going to be the Julio Rodriguez thing.
No.
Tearing it up.
Okay. Yes. This kind of what I was gonna say kind of ties into that. What I was gonna say was that Jose Altuve got his 2000th hit,
and thrown out at second.
but he did it in Houston, where he got a standing O. And there are 29
How
other
old is-
ballparks.
How old is Altuve? Is he 28?
Oh, I think he's older than that.
I think he's a little older than that. But
I think he's older than that. I think he's in his 30s. I think he's in his 30s. He's been doing it for a long time.
I mean, that's been. I was saying that's pretty quick. Probably not super quick, but I feel
Yeah,
like
I
he's
just
on
no.
fantasy
So
league.
what I'm getting at about that though is that 29 other ballparks, he'd have got fucking booed.
Lit up.
Oh,
Nobody.
True.
He's hated.
New York, Boston, LA. If he'd have got his 2000th hit there, dude, they might have been throwing garbage on the field. Like it
I
might have
agree.
turned into a fucking riot.
I agree.
It's so I don't know. As I was watching it, you're like, I don't know. It's just kind of bittersweet because it was against the Mariners. So yeah, I mean, it kind of was Julio Rodriguez, and I would love.
You
to
got to
talk
throw
about
the
that.
tie-in out there now. You got to throw
Yeah.
it in now.
But I just mean like it's crazy that in real time you're seeing a guy that I think before the Astros got charged or got found out, about all the bullshit that they did. Dude, people liked Altuve,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? Like I
Great
think
player,
he was
yep.
like pretty, little dude. His fucking smokes the ball, like hit after hit after hit. Plays great defense up until he hits that home run off Chapman, right? And then they find out about all the other bullshit, and now you just hate him. Like it's such real time that you're witnessing greatness, and like now can't fucking stand the guy.
Can I expound on that a little bit, Ty?
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
First of all, you're right. That would have been enough. Just the fact that they got caught cheating, and to be clear, they didn't get charged. They got caught.
No.
Why they
Yeah,
didn't
they got
penalize the
caught.
players? Why they didn't penalize the players? They should have. I think everybody should have been held accountable. That being said, but I feel like, and this is how I look at it. I think Jim does too. I think most baseball fans, this is how they look at it. That would have been enough just to get caught for cheating, but it was their response after people stuck a microphone in their face that pissed off the entire baseball world, because it wasn't like, you know what, we pushed the envelope too far.
Yeah, we got
made
fucking
mistakes.
caught. Like, yeah.
You know, I mean, it would have been, people wouldn't even be talking about it right now if they had said that. If they had just fucking been humble and said, our bad, sorry. We pushed
throwing an apology out
Oopsie.
there. Yeah.
Right. You know what? People, sports fans are forgiving, man. They're forgiving.
Yep.
They would have swept it under the rug. These motherfuckers came out and said, you know what? Deal with it. We're the champions. Piss off. Basically,
you're exactly right, man.
Just double middle fingers, like fuck off. We won the ring.
Yeah,
so
dude. Because
and
there
from
were
that
there's no repercussions, and they
From
went,
that point
well,
on-
fucking sorry about it. Guess what? We're the fucking best still.
Right.
Like,
just
dude,
just stuck it
the
in your
fucking
face and said,
Astros are
"Fuck you."
loaded.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're loaded, dude. They didn't get like
Unless he
nothing happened.
plays for your team, and even if he does play for your team, you may not like him. But
That's
if,
what I
if
mean,
he's
though,
on your team, Altuve's hated, and it's exactly
There's-
what y'all just talked about. But hey, let's get off of him because I don't really care for the dude. But let's go to J-Rod. I mean, do we got something big popping up in Seattle? Come on,
the
guys.
J-Rod
Jimmy,
show, baby. The
I know,
J-Rod show. And
that's a
dude, the Mariners are
98-year
sole possession of the
98-year
third
record.
wild card. They just beat. They already won the series against the Astros. But you know what's crazy, and I mean anybody that's listening to a sports podcast, you know how hard it is to gain games in the major leagues.
Oh, big time.
You play like a series like this one against the Astros. You sweep the Astros, you get 3 games on them. That's huge. You win 2 out of 3. You win the series. You dominate the first 2, and then lose the last one. You only get 1 game. You're only gaining a game on them, even though you dominate the series. So, like,
Yeah, but
It's
17
a lot,
hits
but
in 4 games.
oh
That's
yeah,
been
sorry,
held. That's
that was a side
98
note. What I was talking
That is
about.
a 98-year record. So now, just for Jimmy, I want to know if he's going to do this, because if the Mariners do indeed hold on to that wild card spot and they get into the playoffs, are y'all going to go back up to Chuck Your Nuts campground and listen to a Mariners game again and have some beers and play some crib?
Nah, no.
If that's what it
I mean,
fucking
that
takes,
was
if that's what it takes,
nah, that was a one-time thing, and that was '99 when the Mariners were so bad, or '95.
Right, but this
It
could
was
be the
so
start
bad.
of something, though, right?
dude, I
This
had,
could be-
you know what? No bullshit. When they made the playoffs last season, I went and got tickets to what would have been Game 4 in Seattle. I couldn't get tickets to the game before because those sold out. Game 3 against the Astros, because they swept in Toronto. Right, they won the first 2. It was over. They go back to Seattle. So now Game 3 of the Astros Mariners series. First playoff game in Seattle in 20 whatever years. Couldn't get tickets, right? It sold out. I had tickets to Game 4 and they got fucking swept, dude. I didn't even get to go. You want to
How
talk
good is
about
J-Rod?
ball dragger, dude? You want to talk about fucking ball dragger? There you are, dude. There's one for the record books for me. That a kick in the fucking balls. Because how do you not think the way things were going that Seattle was going to get one of those?
Right.
At least a game.
Dude, and it was Saturday. I mean, I watched it at home. I think it went 18 innings.
So, but up
Watched
in the
it.
Pac Northwest, are they all on the J-Rod
Right, dude,
train?
I don't know.
Because
I mean, it's such a fucking roller coaster for a Seattle Mariners fan.
Well,
Get through times like before the All-Star break where you're like, fuck, dude, here we go again. We're gonna be close enough that the last week of the season we're gonna kick in the fucking balls again. And then since the All-Star break, right before the All-Star break, Seattle's one of the best teams in the majors, and they're just climbing. Now they're, they're close enough to win the division. Right now, they're close enough that they're not out of the division race with Texas and Houston.
It's just really, really tough for the Seattles, the Oaklands, the Minnesota Twins, of the league, because it puts such incredible pressure on your scouting department, because you don't have anywhere near the salary that the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, the Padres, some of these teams that routinely drop, the Mets routinely drop 200-300 million in one offseason, they can afford to not draft well because they could just go buy talent.
Did Rodriguez come through their farm system?
Yep.
Because I don't know that.
Homegrown.
Homegrown. Hey, so you know what?
Their whole outside of Luis Castillo, the rest of their rotation, their starting rotation, homegrown.
But
Really,
that's
actually
they
really
are
cool.
Dominant.
But that's
obviously
what
they're doing something, right?
Well, again, your scouting department, it's you're signing your free agent, your international players. You gotta score on that. When you draft, you just have to draft really well, man. I mean, there's a reason why these farm systems have been on the bottom of the rankings for 30 years. I mean, fire your scouting department, man. What are you guys doing? It just now Baltimore's gotten kind of good, but for how many years was Baltimore cellar dwellers, man? I mean,
and what's crazy with Baltimore, still their farm system is like elite. Still,
it is.
That sucks for a fan.
I think I saw 2. I think they're ranked number 2.
Yeah, dude, and they're hot. They're red fucking hot.
Yeah, so they're going to be good probably for several years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys? I got a quick question for you, real easy, fast and simple. When you guys are going to go, you want to watch multiple games. Do you guys have a go-to sports bar or pub or place like that where you want to be able to get some food, get some beer, and watch? Because I did that yesterday with the Little League World Series. I really wanted to go watch some games, and believe it or not, Buffalo Wild Wings did not disappoint, man.
Oh, B-dubs.
Service Oh yeah, B-dubs. The service was on point, food was on point. And they just got in this location all brand new TVs everywhere. But you guys have like, if there's multiple things that you want to see, like you want to be able to catch multiple games at one time. And instead of hooking up 8 TVs in your living room and different cable sources and internet and all that stuff, do you guys have a place? Hey man, I love B-dubs, but this one I was like, you know what? Little League World Series, baby. I want to go watch some game. It was freaking awesome. And you ask the servers, they're perfect. They're like, yep, what do you want on that TV? What do you want on that TV? You know, it was great,
That's
man. It was a
super
lot
cool.
of fun.
It's
Yeah,
nice.
you guys
It's
have a
nice when
place?
you get service where you can go, hey, would you mind throwing, like, you look around, nobody's fucking there to watch anything. You're like, hey, would you mind throwing this game, whatever, you know, on the
Exactly
TV?
what I did. Yep, and they did.
And when
every
they can
single
actually
time.
do it and don't just bring their, and we can't figure out how to do it. I'm sorry. And you
I gotta get the
"Oh,
manager."
that's the only fucking reason I'm here.
Or this couple back here wants to watch a WNBA game.
Oh,
Fuck out of
Yeah.
here.
yeah.
Get
Or a game like there's a no disrespect to soccer, because if that's the only thing going or one of the only things going and it's a cup event or something, I don't mind watching it. But there'll be like playoffs on, or 2 or 3 really big games like league changing games. And you're right, Jim. There'll be a couple, some older couple in their golden years wanting to watch the FIFA match. It's like, hey, you gotta come and get the fuck out of here, man. I mean, but
What did you call it? What is
FIFA?
FIFA spell? How does
It's
that sound?
Isn't that what it is?
FIFA.
Isn't that the league, the soccer league, FIFA?
I think
It is a
most
soccer
of the world
thing, but-
pronounces it FIFA.
FIFA. Well, okay, so that's
I
how
have
much
no
I know.
idea.
I mean, that might be tomato. I don't
Well,
fucking
okay.
know, actually,
And
to
if
be
you're
perfectly
right-
honest.
If you're right, that speaks volumes of how fucking much I watch soccer. So there's that.
That's exactly. I think all of us pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
watch,
ladies
yeah,
want
I only
from.
know
As
it from the
far as I
video
know,
game.
as far as I know, it could totally be pronounced FIFA. That's
Yeah.
how much
Yeah, I might have just stuck my own foot in my mouth, I
Yeah.
suppose.
it could totally
Okay,
be
so-
pronounced FIFA.
So note to self, don't ever talk soccer or German beers. Fuck off.
Can we get with our fact
Which go, I think those go hand in hand.
They probably do. That's probably an accurate statement.
As long as you have a keyboard in front of you, Pat, then you're good. Then you're
Yeah.
set. You guys, is there
Hey,
a
did
place
you-
like near you
okay,
guys
so-
that you go?
so, hey,
though?
the Dolphins fans in this, real quick.
Oh, good.
real
Lord.
quick.
What's
Did you
that?
guys see that Tyreek Hill said he doesn't watch any film?
I did see that. Yep.
That's not the first time he said that, though.
No.
He said
No,
that
I
before.
don't know. He's phenomenal. It's just
Yeah.
funny that when if anybody that hasn't seen it, Johnny Manziel has a documentary on Netflix right now. It's through their Untold like series. There's a bunch of different stuff, but Johnny Manziel has his own. And when that whole thing came out, they asked him how much film did you watch as a Brown, and he went like this.
Yeah, well,
0.
And but I mean, from position to position, right? Like, yeah, Johnny Manziel not watching any film, big deal. Tyreek Hill,
But
not watching any film, and just claiming he knows football inside and out, so he doesn't have to watch film.
That's a whole
Fucker's
different
good.
animal.
Like, I you know what I mean? Like, can a player of
He
his
feels, man.
that's what I mean. A player of his status and like his credentials and shit that you hear. I don't fucking watch film. I just know how football works. You're like, well, okay, proof's in the
Manziel-
pudding, right? Proof's in the pudding, which is another
Manziel
saying.
needed the film. Manziel
Right,
needed to
yeah.
watch film, and he
I
should.
think anybody in the NFL, dude, to hear
Tyreek,
I would like to
Tyreek
know
will
at this
blow by
point.
every defender.
I
Tyreek
would
doesn't
like
need
to
to
know
He needs
at
to know
this
how to run
point-
his route.
I'd like to know that, like, what percentage of guys watch what percentage of film. I think that would be interesting.
I think that's asinine. Fine. He's 100%. I mean, he's so talented, and yeah, chances are he can just run by people, But think about it this way: as good as he is, suppose he could be maybe a little bit better by just watching himself. And why this pass wasn't completed, or why this guy stuck him at the line of scrimmage.
If he just watched his own tape and that was
His
it.
own routes.
Yeah.
You think he might get better? That's a fucking
But-
ass.
But then,
Well,
That's
that
a
may
cocky-
speak a lot.
That's a cocky bullshit fucking. Oh, I don't watch any film.
it probably is. That's what I'm saying. I mean, then you'd have to buy in the fact that him saying that is literal, which I don't buy that. I mean, even if he fell from the tree that I'm not going to put any work or the TO or the Randy Moss tree, I play when I want to play. Even if you fell from that tree, you're going to have coaches that are going to put you in they're going to have you watch film, man. So I don't think that he just doesn't watch film. I don't buy that.
I think that speaks to his level of arrogance. I mean, come on.
That's
The
what
cheetah
it is.
knows.
That's exactly what it is.
He knows
I hope
how
it
good
doesn't.
he is.
I hope it doesn't. I'm on the other side. I hope that motherfucker actually watches zero film and he's still that good. I hope that
He is
he's
that good,
such.
but
I
here's the
hope
thing.
he's such an elite athlete that he's going like, no, I understand what zone coverage is. I understand what man coverage is, and it doesn't matter to me because I can dissect that as I'm running down the field, and also I'm running a fucking go.
He's
Well,
What
it's
What
just,
do I
That's
need
elite.
to know? What do I need to know? Oh, are they in cover 3? Should I dig this one in a little bit more shallow, or should I fucking blow by both these guys and hope that my quarterback fucking throws it as far as he can throw it, and I'll run underneath it.
well, it's just going to be that much more impressive when he catches 2,100 yards this year. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
well,
absolutely. I hope he's such a fucking freak that he's like, I don't have to watch film.
he
Do you
might
guys
be
not
that.
see what I do week in and week out? I don't
He might
fucking
be.
even
Doesn't
care.
matter. He might be the elite athlete in the NFL. Doesn't matter. He's not the best receiver in the NFL. He might be the
Maybe
most
not
elite
pe-
athlete, but he's not the best receiver, fellas. No fucking way.
Yeah, maybe he's
So
maybe
he could
he's
be
not.
the best receiver also. Is what
right. That's the crazy thing is like you're like, okay, well, if he goes for 2,100 yards, you're like, okay, well, is he the best receiver? I mean, I don't know by numbers, yeah, but like as an
Right.
actual like Devontae Adams, right? Like is I think as what you would draft.
how about Jeffries
As a
in
team.
Minnesota, man? I mean,
I'm
Jeffries,
taking
right?
Jefferson.
Jamar Chase,
Jamar
right?
Chase,
Like,
Jefferson.
I'm
Yeah.
talking more like just like a great route runner, good size, got the radius, the whole thing. But then you're like, okay, well, there's also a guy who's now down in South Beach that like is a fucking freak.
He's like Speedy Gonzalez, man. He just
Dude,
blows
he's just
past
fucking
everything. Like,
he's just gone.
He's not 6'3". He's not prototypical. He's not 6'3". He's not a huge guy.
Right.
He's ripped, but I mean, he's small in stature. He's just faster than everybody else, man.
they have another receiver down there that's also pretty good. That might be
good.
top 10 in
Jalen
the
Waddle's pretty fucking good.
Jalen
I mean,
Jalen Waddle's going to
is
be right
pretty
there.
fucking good, man. And he
I
doesn't
think this will
get
be a breakout year for him.
Like everybody talks about Tyreek, and rightfully so, but I think the league is kind of sleeping on Jalen Waddle because he's not bad by any stretch.
I mean, yes, he does not get talked about because of course Tyreek gets the shine. I don't know, dude. From what I see on like fantasy football stuff, Jalen Waddle's like, dude, he's fucking running up draft boards. I know that.
Yeah.
For whatever that means. I mean, I'm talking, fantasy football, whatever the fuck that means. But
Which, by the way, hey, how's that going?
fantasy football, it's going really shitty. So it's going terrible. As a matter of fact, it's going really, really bad.
Okay.
It's not going good. We've had almost zero interest. So yeah, pretty shitty.
Okay, well,
That actually sucks.
Which sucks
those
because there's a
people
lot of people that I think watch this and a lot of people that like our stuff and like,
that also
just
might
jump
already
in.
be in 3 other leagues. You know
well,
what I
just
mean?
jump in.
I know people
Just
like
jump in.
that.
I don't know. I think a lot of people are like nervous about the fact of like our 5 for 5 thing. I think there's a lot of people that are like would be willing to do it that just don't want to, put themselves out there and say like, fuck it, I'll do it. Fuck it, I'll do it. That's how this whole podcast started. Was us
Right.
going, fuck it, we'll do it.
Yeah.
That's
Fuck it,
exactly
we'll do it
right.
live. We'll do it live.
Well,
Just
we'll
bring
put our,
it. Just somebody
You know,
bring
so
it, man.
I don't know. I just
we'll put our heads together, and even if we've got to phone a friend, get some people that we know in on the shit, just for
Hell
starters,
yeah.
just to just to get it going, and then maybe others will join.
Right.
But
So,
dude,
This
don't
guy
be
I know
scared,
named
man.
Trevor
Listen.
Heilman, he hit our Instagram up. He said he's in, so that gets us to 5.
Yeah, Trevor.
Well,
Hey,
yeah.
shout out to Trevor.
Heilman, dude, we'll at you in this thing. He's a podcaster. He's been on podcasts and stuff before.
how about have old Trev do a 5 for 5?
Yeah,
Okay,
dude,
challenge.
I mean, he's our
So Trevor's getting called out right on this episode.
That's right.
Yeah.
Listen, man. Obviously, you got more cojones than a lot of other people out there, so let's bring it.
Yeah.
Let's get you on for a 5 for 5, and let's get some more people on this fantasy football, man. Because we're getting damn close, gentlemen. We got to roll.
Yep.
Damn close.
So hey, with that being said, guys, let's start wrapping this up a little bit. Comments, likes, dislikes, whatever. Fantasy football, 5 for 5. You can catch us on Gmail, Cocktails and Curveballs on Gmail. You can catch us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Like, subscribe. Let's get some people. Let's just get some interest and get some people on here to argue with us, to tell us we're dumb as shit, whatever. So let's do a round of curtain calls, guys. Who's got the first one?
I'll go first. I got actually 2. One is super simple. There's a kid up in out of Canada, Jackson Weir. He plays for Regina, Saskatchewan. Little League World Series
What is it?
kid.
He plays
Regina,
for
Regina, which is in Saskatchewan, in Canada. I figured
Isn't
that was
where Ryan Reynolds is from, something like that.
He's up in that
it
area.
Regina? It wouldn't be
or
Regina?
Toronto area.
Would it not be
Anyway,
Regina?
Listen, I've gone to car shows. It was always pronounced Regina to me, which I know sounds a little sketch, but anyway. So this kid pitched a complete game, 13 Ks in the Little League World Series, and shout out to him, man. And side note to that, Cuba got into the Little League World Series for the first time ever, and they lost the first game, but then they won one. And
I'm pretty sure they just lost to Panama.
Yes, they did. And second shout out to Tyler's shirt that he decided to wear. We don't know what it means, but
Oh, do you guys want to see it? I was gonna bring this out because I know, as everybody knows, I'm a Ravens fan. It says "Meet Dick." Dick is a Steelers fan. This looks backwards for me.
No, it's
and it
not.
says "Don't be a dick."
Right on.
Yeah, that was really for no. I always wear the shirt. I like this shirt a lot. For it's got sentimental meaning.
That's a dumbass shirt.
Yeah, well. Also, just real quick on the Gina thing that we're doing. Have you guys seen 40-Year-Old Virgin?
Yeah.
Where he's doing speed dating?
Oh, yeah.
And he sees the name tag. He says, "Oh, Gina," and she goes, "Gina, what's up?"
What's up?
I have seen that.
Fucking funny.
So there's my curtain calls. That's up to you guys, boys. Go.
All right. Thanks, Lee. Ty, how about you?
Yeah, well, it was gonna go out to Julio. We already talked about that a little bit, and then just kind of going with the Little League World Series theme. Those the umpires are volunteers, and that's something that how much have we talked on this with each other about how much the major league umpires fuck it up.
Yep,
behind the plate. I watched
straight.
Mexico and Japan, or yeah, I think it was Mexico Japan the other day. And this
I
kid,
missed that game.
Cash Martinez, was on the mound for. Or no. I'm sorry. I'm fucking this up now. It got switched over. It was Fargo, North Dakota, against somebody else. But this kid from North Dakota, Cash Martinez, got squeezed harder than I've ever seen anybody get squeezed. But when you think about that, these guys are volunteers behind the plate. That's not good enough at this point. I don't know. And maybe that's my own thing, but like having just volunteers that show up to Williamsport to ump these games with these kids that are absolute elite talents at this point is not good
At their
enough.
age.
Dude,
I agree.
it was absolutely terrible. I was standing up with my hands on my head. My wife's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Watch this, watch." And it was abysmal. It was the absolute worst umpiring job I've ever seen in my entire life. What the umpire was doing to this kid on the mound. right down middle of the plate, belt high, calling it a ball. Dude, I am not fucking kidding. Like it was the worst showing of umpiring that I've ever seen in my whole life. I hope that guy fucking never umpires another game anywhere
He
ever.
If he was
they
on
have to
TV,
go through a lot to get.
It was
to
on
get
TV.
Invited.
The kid
to
was
go to
fucking on the
Williamsport.
mound crying. The kid was looking in his dugout. Was
if he
like,
was on TV, I'd be willing to bet that he won't be back. And Angel Hernandez, I don't know if you've seen, he lost his lawsuit against Major League Baseball for discrimination, which is good because since Joe West retired, Angel Hernandez has overtaken the league for the worst umpire employed. Absolutely
they've been
worst.
1A, 1B for a long time.
Yep, they've been absolutely horrible. So my curtain call goes out to one more time, Chris Weidman. Thank you for the memories. In that fight last night, I feel like he could have quit after that first kick he took in the leg. You could tell he was grimacing the entire match. He was having a really hard time switching back between right-handed and southpaw. His legs were killing him. First match back after he had that horrible break in the octagon, and he's just a warrior, man. I love everything he stands for. He loves his country. He battled through that fight last night. Probably, I know he didn't want to fight after that first leg kick. I know he wanted to quit, but he just gutted it out, and hopefully he'll be done so he can enjoy his family and better things, left to do to enjoy than going to the octagon. But it was good to see him battle, man, and I hope that he just hangs him up because he didn't look good last night.
Time to retire. Cheers,
Yes,
to
sir.
him, though.
Retire, but heart of a lion, man. Heart of a
Yes.
Cheers to Chris Weidman.
Hey, Chris, yep, absolutely. Cheers to Mr. Weidman. Hey, my
Yes,
curtain
sir.
call goes out to the fucking New York Yankees. Suck it. Your last place. And that for me, that's a curtain call.
You damn Skippy, it is.
Sorry, boys.
Red Sox fan.
Sorry, boys, but last place, and now you're in last place. You get swept today by the Red Sox. Now you're in last place in the AL East by a group. Dropping out of the wild card hunt. Man, couldn't happen to a nicer team. Couldn't happen.
I will cheers that 10 times this today. Right, that's fantastic. I hate the Yankees as well. And oh, by the way, Pat, thank you to your Cardinals for allowing my Mets to win a couple games.
Oh,
well, at this point in the season, we're just auditioning.
Both teams, it doesn't matter. Both teams, we don't.
We're just auditioning guys from accounting to see if they can throw a baseball.
Yep. We're putting gentlemen. Yeah, we're putting anything out, but you guys, thank you again, as always, for being here. Jimmy.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Good call out on the Yankees.
Hey, thanks, guys, for being here and spending some time with us. Remember, Cocktails and Curveballs, Gmail, Cocktails and Curveballs on Instagram and Facebook, and check us out on YouTube. Anyway, everybody have a great week, and we'll see you soon. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers.